Hello, BookTube. We're going to continue our library tour of Darkest Mordor. For those of you who are just joining us, that's a wooden hutch here in the wall of the living room that had built-in shelves when we got here, and I have just filled it with books, willy-nilly. And occasionally I go through and I pull them all out, and then I think that I'm a virtuous citizen, and then it fills right back up again with junk that I don't look at. And for some unknown reason, I've decided that this is our next library tour when I have bookshelves, ordinary or civilized bookshelves. Nevertheless, we've done a lot of it, so we're just going to keep going. I don't know how long it's going to take. So we're on to bookshelf number 3 in here. There are only 3 shelves and then one huge space at the bottom that is piled with books, like like prehistoric silt deposits. But on this third shelf here, I'm going to have to do the transverse books first because otherwise I can't even get at. I can't even see most of the books behind them. So we'll do the first stack of the transverse books now. Starting with this thing, which is not a book really at all. It's a journal. And it's got a Superman hologram on the cover. Clark Kent changing into Superman. And I loved that so much when I saw this back when it came out. God only knows when. These things don't tend to have dates that are really going to be helpful. Well, no, this doesn't have a date, but it came out a long time ago. I've never used it. I haven't written it yet. I just liked it, so I grabbed it. The next one we've seen on this channel before. This is a ratty little mass market paperback of The Simple Art of Murder by Raymond Chandler, which opens with the essay by that title, which is just fantastic. An amazing piece of writing by a seasoned pro about the professional book world. And this next one is tiny. Oh, all right. Okay, it's tiny for a reason. It's Richard Posner. This is an advanced copy of The Little Book of Plagiarism, where he talks about what plagiarism is and what it isn't. I read this when it first came out. When was this? 2007, and I was fascinated by it. So I've never even seen it in a bookstore. It's so small. I probably overlooked it. What's the next one here? Oh. Okay, this is very old. This is by Anna Fuller, whose name is now completely forgotten. And this is probably from the 19th century. Yeah, it was originally published in 1896. This is probably an 1898 reprint. It's called A Venetian June. It's just a pretty little thing. It's a novel, and it's full of spot illustrations and full page illustrations. Let's see if I can find you one of those full page illustrations from Venice. Just a story. I remember loving it a lot. I haven't read it in a long time. Maybe I should now that I found it again. This one's familiar. Okay, this is actually the Open Letters Monthly is a literary journal of which I am the managing editor. And years ago, we did a book. We actually came out with a book. Of our complete with blurbs and everything, a book with some of our best pieces to date. This was 2010, I think. Yeah, this is an anthology, 2007 to 2010. Haven't done a second book. We really ought to. This has been a long time. This has me in it and a bunch of other people, and it's very enjoyable. Happy to send you a copy. And then. Oh, okay. This is an old. This is I think 20 years old. Translation of the poems of Propertius, Roman poet Propertius, who I really like. The translation is by Vincent Katz, and I remember that the selling point for me for this book wasn't the translation, because I even 20 years ago I was starting to wonder about translations of dead languages. Especially, translations just in general, but translations of dead language, trying to capture in English verse the stuff that Propertius was doing. I had questions about it. I still do. They grow and they wax and wane. But I remember that the selling point of this wasn't so much the translation as it was the introduction. I loved the introduction. Now that this is actually dirty from being in Mordor. Now that I found this again, I will have to reread that introduction. So this is a perfect example of why I'm doing this. Okay. The next one we've seen before. I don't think we saw it in this hardcover. I think I showed you the paperback that I got. This is by Faden, the art publisher, and this is 500 self-portraits, that's just what it is. It's 500 self-portraits all through the ages of art. Artists have always been their own favorite subjects, and this shows you that from beginning, the earliest examples we can find all the way to the present day. And I think I remember mentioning when I showed this to you that one of the things I most like about this hardcover edition is that it's actually 501 self-portraits, because it's mirrored. And it's very intentionally done so that your self-portrait is next. And then the last of this for now, this is going to be a short video, I guess, is Penguin P.G. Woodhouse. There's Life with Jeeves and Vintage Woodhouse. These two very much of a type. They don't overlap that much. I don't think these two volumes overlap at all. They're just trade paperback collections of Woodhouse. I get them all the time, and each one of them, actually, believe it or not, each one of them has their own character. So I don't tend to get rid of them. I have a ton of Woodhouse, but the thing that this just underscores the problem here is that most of my Woodhouse is scattered all over the place, and it shouldn't be. It should all be together. So this will help with that. But that's it for now. That is our next foray into the darkest shadows of Mordor, and we'll do more of this in upcoming videos. We will, now that we started, we're not going to stop, so we'll just go through this to the bitter end. But I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.